Welcome, welcome, welcome to another fabulous week of Cosmic Cunties, where we discuss what is happening astrologically and how the energy of the cosmo might affect you and how you can maybe work with that energy to show up as the highest version of yourself, or at least try to. You know, we're always trying our best, right? It also kind of gives you insight as to what you might be facing. So maybe not internally, but what are you going to come across this week? And if you have a little bit of knowledge before that might come about, then you can be better prepared than if you're just out here raw dogging life, right? So my name is Tiffany. If you are not familiar, I am your head cunty who is going to go day by day for the week of November 17th until November 23rd, and we will talk about what is happening astrologically and how it might be applicable to you in that situation or scenario. As always, just my favorite reminder to everybody, whatever you are experiencing internally is what you're going to experience and have reflected on the external world for you. And so just keep that in mind. If you're experiencing things externally, reflect upon yourself and think, how is this a reflection of what I'm dealing with in my internal world? This week is very intense. There's two major things happening. I'm sure if you are an astrology fan, you've heard about other astrologers talking about what's going on. And so this is just going to be my take on it. And yeah, right before I came in here, I saw a baby snake, and I've never seen a baby snake in my life. And of course I'm very much into animal energy and what that means. And it's all about new beginnings, rebirth, and yeah, just like transformation. And that is exactly what this week is about with the Scorpio New Moon and with the Mercury retrograde Cazimi. Those are two major astrological events that we're dealing with. And this is all about transformation, especially internally. And we'll get into that a little bit more. But with that being said, my intention is for you for this week is hold on to your sage sticks, your Palo Santo sticks. We're doing a lot of clearing and a lot of cleansing of our internal world this week. And so really, new moons are about bringing in new things. However, we cannot bring in new things if there are still beliefs within us that prevent us from having space for those new things, or maybe if there's people, places, things that are holding us back from having those new things. We need doors to close. We need epiphanies to happen in order for the new things to come in. So anything that we're holding on to, like grudges, people, ideas, beliefs, habits, ways of thinking, this is all related to Mercury. Scorpio really doesn't play, and it's going to force you inward. So either go inward for yourself, or you're going to be forced to go inward, and things are going to come about, and it's going to be more uncomfortable if you're not willing to do the work yourself. And that's true for life. So this is really Scorpio's death and rebirth. We're still in Scorpio season, okay? The sun is transitioning out into Sagittarius this week. However, so many of the other planets are still meddling in Scorpio energy. And so we're there. We're dying and we're rebirthing. We're transforming. We are finding our power. We are finding our voice. We are finding the shit inside of us that just doesn't do us any good, and we're releasing it for that rebirth. This is the last Mercury retrograde of this year, of the year of releasing. And so with that being said, this is like, and also let's talk about it, the last Mercury retrograde of the decade. We're finishing up the year of 9. Next year is the year of 1. We're starting new with new solid foundations next year. So sweep out the cobwebs. We don't need them going in. They're not sturdy for this new year, this new foundation that we've been building. It's still very much so retrograde season. We still have 6 planets in retrograde, Chiron being one of those. So retrogrades are all about inward energy. It's not about the external energy, although we can experience it externally. Like I said, your internal world is going to reflect in the external world, but it's all about rewiring, rewriting, redoing, rethinking, revisiting, refining, redecorating, like all of it. Yeah. Yeah. And the new moon is really here to help you do that dirty work that you've probably been holding off on, especially if you feel some big movement this week. And I will mention, I kind of mentioned this to my clients that I have within my cosmic counseling and or friends. But for all of us that are sensitive to energies, we're going to feel these things a few days before they actually happen. So for me, dare I say it, I have already experienced the major thing that I needed to realize where I was holding myself back from and keeping myself from receiving abundance, love. And it was like I was keeping my own heart in a cage. And so I did major releasing in regards to that and beliefs that I held and have held my entire life that kept me safe. That's been the name of the game this year, is how can I keep my heart safe, but keep it wide open and allowing myself to love, which is, you know, my greatest power, everybody's greatest power, but keeping myself safe while doing so. That has been what I've been trying to figure out this whole year. And I had a major release in regards to that. Shout out to Saskia. If you guys need some deep healing, Saskia is your woman for some parts work. That is, yes, amen. Please, low, Saskia. She is your woman. Gosh, Lord. Love her. Also, shout out to Ravel. I had a session as well with Ravel today. I'm starting she's releasing a program soon, and I can't reveal any details about it. She's been working hard on it, but I'm one of her experiments, and I can tell it's going to be really big. I had my first session of many with her today, and yeah, wow, we're releasing. And so my point being, if you are really susceptible or sensitive to energy, you're going to be feeling these energies sooner than maybe the days that I'm mentioning. Maybe you're already going through it. Knock on wood. I hope I don't go through anything more, but if I do, hey, it's only to take me higher, baby. Okay, so let's go. Let's run, baby. Monday, today, the 17th. Let's talk about it. So the sun in Scorpio is trining Saturn and Pisces in retrograde. This is really an internal la-la land. This is really allowing us to be dreamy. It's allowing us to utilize our emotions to fuel those dreams and ideas that we have. It's allowing us to kind of go into further away places. It's just really supporting us. It's a lovely energy, in my opinion, to do a really great deep dive internally without it feeling pressure, without it feeling too intense. It's this nice, like, here's step one into what this week is going to be. So everything that you're feeling, use it as a sign. The cosmos this week are really working together. They're like, no, you're gonna go through it. Like, you are going to clear this energy, and one way or another. And it's all supporting us. They're all it's like they're all in cahoots together, which makes sense. We also have the moon in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer, which is retrograding. So whatever we're feeling internally is going to be highlighted. And because it's a square, it's going to be those negative internal emotions that are going to be highlighted. Like I said, the cosmos are working overtime this week to really make sure that we have that big aha moment that's coming in. And this is really an appetizer to this week as to what's happening. So pay attention to what's coming through internally starting today. And then lastly, the moon is moving into Scorpio on Monday. And while it does it, it's going to square Pluto in Aquarius. So this is the energy of the new moon this week. We are starting to feel the intensity of it, the transformation that we're going to be experiencing this week. New moon in Scorpio, that is the energy. That is the internal emotions, the subconscious, doing that deep dive, that rebirth, that transformative work, that Pluto energy work, that shadow work. We're going in there. And with it squaring Pluto, what needs to be released is showing up today. This is the mirror reflecting back to you. So what are you seeing? What are you, maybe you're seeing something and you're like, oh, I want that. Or you're seeing something, you're like, why don't I have that? Or like, why isn't it working out for me? Or gosh, why did they behave that way? Or why am I behaving that way? It's really showing up and showing you exactly what you need to work on. It's like, hey, you're going to learn this lesson this week. Here's the book. Are you going to open the book and read it? Or are you going to let the universe just kind of bitch slap you around? It's up to you. Yeah, that's my message. That's what my notes say. So, Tuesday, Mercury moves to Scorpio, which is retrograding. So we've been in Mercury retrograde, but it's been in Sagittarius, which has been fiery. I mean, this is a good point to reflect back and kind of notice perhaps the difference in the feeling on Tuesday. We've been in Sagittarius. We've been reflecting on the way that we communicate, the way that our ideas come out, and the way that just like our internal mind works in a fiery way, in an adventurous way, in a philosophical way, in an overarching big picture thinking way. Now we're moving into Scorpio. So take it from this like big picture, big scheme thing, cross-cultural travel, like adventure fun, but fiery and truth-seeking, like a sharp tongue, okay? Now we're taking it internal. Scorpio is so powerful. It's all about that deep, transformative internal work. And so that's where the Mercury retrograde is going to be. We're reflecting inward. We are doing that shadow work. Mercury retrograde is asking us to do the shadow work. So things in communication that might be coming up are things in which you need to face. Things, people, places, ideas, situations that you thought maybe were gone or you thought maybe were resolved, and the way that they make you feel inside, the way that maybe they transformed you or helped you evolve before, they're coming back for a further evolution to really tie the knot. This week is slapping that big, fat, juicy cherry on that Sunday that you thought, this looks delicious. This is complete. And Scorpio is like, nah, bitch. You need that big, fat, juicy cherry. And you didn't put the period on there. You didn't put the exclamation mark on there. You didn't seal the deal. We're sealing the deal this week. So this is really, again, the Mercury in Scorpio retrograding is really aligning with the Scorpio New Moon energy that's coming up this week. So we're really being asked to go internally deep. What part of us can we release? What beliefs, what ideas, what habits, what ways of thinking, ways of performing no longer serve the new version of us that we have cultivated and created all this year, all this decade. So get real with yourself. Like, what is holding you back? What do you want and why are you not going for it? Your fear of success, your fear of failure, your fear of being seen, your fear of, and you name it. And ultimately, by the way, shout out to my girl Cedar, love her. All of these fears, fear of abandonment, fear of judgment, all of the ones I've named and all the ones that you can name, what does it come down to? It comes down to not fitting in, being ostracized, and what is our Animalia's typical need? Because we are, we're more like a socialist society. We need our community. If we are ostracized or not accepted or not seen or understood or loved, or we fail, our fear is that we're going to die because we're not going to have the people around us to support us. And when, back in the cavemen and cavewoman days, if you didn't have your community, you died. So really getting honest with yourself, it's the fear of death. And kicker, all of our fears of death come true. So why are we fearing the one thing that we do know for a fact happens? Let it go. And this week is really helping us do that so that we can move forward and bring our dreams, bring our ideas, bring our energy, bring our spaciousness, bring our essence forward and allow ourselves to be authentically who we are. Nobody in this world is like me. Nobody in this world is like you. Nobody in this world is like your mama. Nobody in this world is like your auntie. Nobody in this world is like your pup. Like, no one is similar. Not even close. So we need you to step into your power. We need you to step into your voice based on your own experiences, based on the way that you were raised to talk and walk and act authentically. Because the people that resonate with you are waiting for you. The work is this week. We've got to move this new earth forward. And it really involves all of us stepping into our power. All right. Also on Tuesday, Moon in Scorpio is conjunct Venus. This is giving something is coming out regarding love. It's a great day to make love, to be brutally honest and connect intimately, to be vulnerable on all the reflecting you've done so far during Mercury retrograde. This is the energy of the new moon. Something could come to the surface regarding your love life or ways in which you show up within your love life. If you are blocking love, maybe insight to that, whatever it is, you know best. All right, Wednesday, my cunties, big day. Big day. We've got Mercury and Scorpio retrograding, opposing Uranus and Taurus, okay? So the way that we're communicate is really struggling to ground itself. We are emotionally catapulted into our communications when we need to reflect on how can we show up in a more secure, grounded, and calm way. So try to ground yourself before acting and speaking and allowing your emotions to lead, okay? We also have Mercury and Scorpio retrograding, trining Neptune and Pisces, which is also retrograding. This is spicy communication. This is deep emotional communication. It's really supported today to discuss our ideas and our dreams. So allow ourselves to drift into this creative state and utilize our emotions to guide us. Whatever's coming forth wants our attention. This is a good day to do something creative to act out your emotions versus, yapping at somebody. Moon in Scorpio is also trining Jupiter and Cancer in retrograde. So this is a very intense internal emotional reflection. The universe is really begging us to go inward. I'm telling you, every step along this week is building us up to the main things that are happening this day on Wednesday and on Thursday. So, again, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to discover and excavate? What do you need to transform? And where is there a missing link? Connect them for yourself. And if you can't, maybe ask somebody else, journal on it. A good technique of journaling is writing the questions or the thoughts out with your dominant hand, and then with your non-dominant hand, let it write, and the answers can come through that way. You don't need to be able to read it, but it's like a stream of consciousness, and you'll get the answers there. We also have the Moon in Scorpio trining Saturn and Pisces retrograding. So our internal emotional discipline is there on our dreams. So like, what is holding you back? What discipline can you bring in to like bring your dreams forward? Or in what ways are your emotions holding you back from being disciplined with your dreams that you want to bring to the 3D? Where are you holding on? And is it still serving you, or is it no longer serving you? You need to get brutally honest with yourself. And lastly, the big part, we've got the new moon in Scorpio. And this is conjunct Mercury retrograde. Yeah. So this is really, a new moon in Scorpio, like I mentioned earlier, is really about what new things do you want to bring in. But with it being conjunct Mercury retrograde, and this is really, the scorpionic energy of deep transformation, of death and rebirth, of power, reclaiming your power and going inward to find out where you're not doing that, so that you can see like what is not aligned internally. If you have been trying to call things in for however long and they're not coming in, one of two things is happening. One, you don't believe that you're capable of holding that thing. Or two, you are gripping so hard on that thing that it's not going to come in because you are like, do or die, must have this. And so releasing everything, release your grip, release the ways that internally that you believe you are not worthy enough of receiving that thing. This is one half of the buildup that we've been talking about for this week. So this is a massive call-in, but even more so because of this retrograde season and a lot of Scorpio energy, this is allowing you to focus on what you want to call in. But more than that, what doors do you have to close? When you close doors, especially big ones, you make room and space for new, better things to come in. So what doors are you closing, or are they being closed for you? And this is the big, fat, juicy cherry on top that I was talking about. Something's been percolating, especially internally, like your beliefs, thoughts, ideas, ways you show up or do not show up. Shadow work basically is coming to a point on that day. So you might, if you're sensitive, you might be feeling it Tuesday. You might have already started feeling it today on Monday, but that we're doing it and we're releasing it, and we're going to feel a big release on the other side. And it's going to be so beautiful. I am so ready for 2026, y'all. I don't know about you, but I can feel big shit coming for myself, for the world, for all y'all that have been doing the work. That like abundance is coming in, love is coming in, beauty's coming in, connections coming in. It's happening, but how deeply those things are coming in and how intensely those things are coming in and how aligned those things are coming in is directly related to how much work you're doing, of the releasing, of the closing the doors, of the shadow work, of the transformation. All right, Thursday. This is the second big day. This is the sun in Scorpio is conjunct Mercury retrograde. Because it's an exact conjunct with the sun, it's called a Cazimi. So this is really, the sun is highlighting, like shining a big fat light on the Mercury retrograde energy, and it's very intense. So this is internal reflection on the way that we communicate, the way that we express our beliefs, our ideas, and what we're needing. Excuse me, I'm releasing. This is giving an epiphany moment. This is a real internal way of that's going to come forward. That's like, how are we holding ourselves back? Or like, whoa, that's what was going on in that situation. Or like, whoa, that's what happened with that partnership or relationship. Or whoa, that's what I was doing. That's what I've been doing. Or like, whoa, that's the epiphany or answer as to what's holding me back from this X, Y, or Z. That's really what this day is about. Yeah, the key to the lock that we have been feeling, like we're like, can't get forward. I'm blocked. Why? It's always us. It is always us. The key is always within us. It's never external. So yeah, other things that might be coming in, exes, situations, all the things that I just mentioned, they're asking you to reflect internally on the epiphany or the aha moment. Also on Thursday, we have the moon in Scorpio trining Uranus and Pisces, which is retrograding. So this is really helping us shake things loose internally with this Cazimi. It's working in conjunction with it. It's working together, tandem. This is the ways that we're feeling, the ways that we're processing. It's our dreams, it's our creations. It's all a part of this Scorpio excavation and realization. The moon in Scorpio is also opposing Uranus and Taurus. This is going to feel like a really wild ride, very unexpected, very aha moment, but in this deep, emotionally transformative way, not a grounded way. It's like one last excavation, especially for the house in which Taurus is in for you, and the theme you have worked on and uncovered and massively changed within the last 7 years. This is a finalization of that theme. So, for example, Taurus was in my first house, my house of self-identity, of the house of self-expression, of self. It's the rising sign. It's how you appear in the world. It's all of it's your identity. And with Uranus being in Taurus in my first house the last 7 years, I've talked about it many times, but it has been quite literally a change in what I identify with and how I express myself. I found healing. I found my happiness. I left my career. I left a relationship. I found my spirituality. I left a city that I was in for 10 years. I mean, that's that. This is a finalization of that theme. So look where Taurus is in your chart. We all have Taurus. It's all in one house. If you look at Placidus, it might be in several houses. It's a finalization of whatever theme you've been dealing with in the last 7 years. And it's a shakeup because Uranus is a shakeup. It's the unexpected. And then lastly, for Thursday, the moon moves into Sagittarius. So we are now feeling the release of that deep transformational work that's been taking place all week. It's that deep inner dive of whatever realizations that have come about, whatever we have freed, or whatever aha moments that's happened. That's allowing the new moon, that allowed the new moon to activate for us to bring new opportunities in. We're now allowing ourselves the freedom to expand and relax into that Sagittarius energy, which is more fun, more adventurous. It's that like, ooh, okay, cool. Like a moment, to like sit and enjoy for a second. And then on Friday, we have the same moon in Sagittarius, conjunct Mars in Sagittarius. So this is energetically a little spicy. It's a fire sign. It's witty. It's fun. It's adventurous internally and externally. So if you're feeling this way, do something fun and adventurous. Kind of give yourself a little bit of that break that's been needed after all of this really deep dive and kind of like excavation and realizations that you've had this week. Then the sun in Scorpio is going to oppose Uranus in Taurus. So this is an energy that supports spicy, powerful, doing the shadow work deeply still, feeling the transformations that have taken place. And at the same time, we're feeling forces that want us to ground and relax and chill and take it slow and settle and digest the transformation that we have experienced this week. And then the sun in Scorpio is going to trine Neptune in Pisces. That's still retrograding. And this is very much so the energy that supports seeking out creative processes to transmute our realizations or our transformations that have happened this week. And then we've got the sun moving into Sagittarius. So it's Sagittarius season officially on Friday evening. So feeling adventurous, fun, go with the flow, making things happen. Kind of getting less in that internal realm and deep healing and transformative internal shadow work and allowing ourselves to be in our body and move forward. It's giving almost like it's very correlated and very related to this year being the year of the snake and being internal and shedding all that shit. And then next year, 2026, is the year of the horse. And it being the year of the horse, it's all about embodiment. It's all about moving forward. It's all about leadership. It's all about taking action. And so that's very much so what that energy we're moving into this week. And then I'm going to say lastly, Saturday, because Sunday we ain't got nada to do except for breathe. Breathe deeply, mamas and papas and sisters and brothers. Cunties, all of you. So Saturday, moon in Sagittarius is going to square Saturn in Pisces. We are feeling spontaneous, fiery inside, but the external energies are asking us to be a little more thoughtful and disciplined and grounded. And then the Mercury in Scorpio that's retrograding is going to trine Saturn in Pisces, which is retrograding. Actually, you know what? I'm going to not say it's retrograding. I think on that very day, and I'll double check this. I think one of my favorite astrologers, Vital Mystic, mentions that the very next day, Saturn in Pisces starts to go direct. So this Mercury retrograde is really working with our structured dreams that we've been creating. We're reflecting back on whether our dreams work for us, the way that we've structured them, if they're working for us or not, and really asking ourselves, are our dreams solidified enough, or do we need to reflect and refine more? We also have the moon in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces, which is still retrograding. So this is giving the energy of like a fiery, fun, internal world, which is at friction of our dreamy and creative intuition. This is simply an internal back and forth between the two. So feeling that like ping pong, ping pong. And then we've got the moon moving into Capricorn. So we're grounding all that energy from this week, all those realizations and transformations that have taken place that we've experienced. We're calming that down internally, really starting to settle. And then lastly, Mercury in Scorpio retrograding is going to trine Jupiter in Cancer retrograding. So this is a final integration of the Mercury Cazimi, really reflecting and communicating our transformations and our rebirths, whether it be with other people or through our journal, reflecting on those things. Remembering that Mercury is still in retrograde, so this is still internal workings and our communication is still going to maybe come off as intense or jumbled, but really starting to feel into that and work on that deep integration of all the stuff that we are going to hopefully feel, transform, and release this week. If you have any questions as to what I went over this week, please put them in the comments down below. I also always link my website, my Instagram, my email on the description box below. And if you are looking for how this week or any upcoming energies, even 2026 forecasts, are going to affect you and your personal natal chart, I do natal chart readings and 2026 forecasts. I also do astrocartography, which is your natal chart overlaid on the geographical world map. And it shows you the energies of the planets where they were aligned when you were born, which might give you insight as to why you feel certain energies in specific places, whether that be restrictive or expansive. And I also offer cosmic counseling, which is counseling, coaching through the astrological placements that you are experiencing personally. And yeah, if you have been appreciating all of the insight that I research and feel into and intuitively give to y'all, feel free to Venmo me. I run on coffee. That is how I am here all day, every day. And yeah, as always, I love when y'all reach out to me and are like, hey, this smacked, this hit, this is what you said really came true. This is how it's playing out in my life. Put it in the comments, DM me. It's all like a research project for me. And so I love to see how it is affecting all of you. And of course, being supportive in that way. So thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all immensely. And I am sending big fat prayers to everybody for this week. And I pray that you have the aha moments and the transformations that is needed so that you can show up in your most highest authentic version of yourself. And yeah, cunty out, babies.